Okay, I think I got it. All right, are you still hearing me? I didn't know the mesh shut off when I took the helmet off. Okay, here we go. I'll turn the mesh off when I start yakking, which will be momentarily. I'm already recording. Oh, 30. Hi everyone, Dave here. It is Tuesday of the vacation. We're going to get some rain today, but I figured I would put the GoPro on for two reasons. It's dry at the moment, and secondly, I'm going over this bridge. This doesn't look so bad. Wow, it's very picturesque. I don't know if I can turn this enough to see stuff. Does look pretty good though. Well, that wasn't the Mackinac Bridge, but I could handle that. Well, we are now in Vermont. I don't know if I got a craving for syrup, but we're going to see a lot of this kind of scenery, I can tell you that. So far so good. I mean, we've had an enjoyable trip. Yesterday there was a lot of rain in the air, so we decided, I decided not to get the GoPro out. It just didn't seem like that was going to be a smart thing to do, because once it starts raining, the GoPro itself is not waterproof, so I didn't want to roll the dice on that. It's about 80 degrees today, so it's not so bad. Feels very comfortable. Ooh, there's lots of areas where you smell cow crap. Ooh. We're in farming area. I'm gonna look down real quick and see what the battery looks like. Sorry about that, but we're looking good. So you get to listen to me for a little while here. So we're headed up northeast in Vermont. We are going to ride a really fun road, which I am going to record. And along that road is the Ben & Jerry's factory where they make the Ben & Jerry's ice cream. The plan is not to stop there, although we might, but there's this really fun road that we want to ride on. I picked it out. So we're going to go north of where we're going. And then we're staying at a ski lodge tonight, which is going to be kind of fun. But it was the cheapest thing in the area. Everything was $400 and $500 a night. We don't need that. So the ski lodge was fairly reasonable at about $160, I think. Who cares if it's a ski lodge, as long as they got places to plug in and we can recharge our electronics. And it's got Wi-Fi, so I can at least have a little fun on the Wi-Fi. Not going to put a lot of big miles on today. Just going to kind of relax. Day one was the one where we had the most miles, really. So we needed to get to Oswego, New York from home. So didn't get a chance to video yesterday, but I was monitoring my rear tire pressure. It went a little low, but it didn't get super low. But I was a little concerned because I knew that it should have been a little bit higher than what it was reading. It was around 34, 35 PSI, and I figured it was supposed to get more like 38, 39. So I thought, you know, I'm going to pump up the tire at a gas stop. So we found a gas station, had a nice big parking lot. And I said, you know, while I'm down here, I might as well look over the tire and just see if I've got a problem anywhere. And sure enough, I got some kind of thing. I kept it. At some point, I'll take a picture of it. Maybe I'll put it on this video. But it was there. It looked like a nail from what I could see. Like, wow, you know, just my luck. These tires are new. They don't have very many miles on them. They got less than 1,000 miles on them, for crying out loud. So luckily at one time I bought a tool kit and a tire puncture kit, as well as one of those Fantic air compressors that charges by USB. And it's also a charging block. It's multi-purpose, but it's small and it fits right in the saddlebag of the bike really well. So my left saddlebag has tools, rain gear, which we needed yesterday, and all that stuff. And fortunately, I had a tire repair kit with me, so really didn't know how to use it. Clay'd used one before in his truck tire, and I didn't know much about how to do it, so he was explaining to me how to do it, and he was going ahead and doing it. And then I had to hold my foot on the foot brake to keep the tire from turning. So he reamed out the hole with the tool, and then he got one of the plugs and coated it with the glue, put it in the device where it inserts the plugging material into the hole, and did that, and then just pumped it up. And I've been monitoring it, and it's on my display right now. And I did put a little bit more air in it today because I was running it just a hair low. It didn't come up in pressure as much as I thought it would yesterday, but it was also cool with the rain and everything. So right now it's reading 43 PSI on the rear, and I did an examination of the tire a little bit earlier and trying to find the plug to see what it looked like. I can't even find where the plug is. So did good. It's holding well. I'm going to keep an eye on that pressure and just make sure if I start to lose it a little bit, I'll look at the tire. But Clay said that plug should last the life of the tire. And I've only had one tire plug that I'm aware of, and that was on a car. I think I was a teenager at the time, and it held up. So I'll keep an eye on it. I don't expect that the rear tire, if it does lose anything, I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I think it'll just be a slow leak. So I'll keep an eye on it. But we were only down maybe 15-20 minutes all told, you know, because I had that stuff. I mean, where we were at, we would have been in trouble if I didn't have the repair kit. So I'm happy about that. So we got to Lake Placid, New York, and we just drove through town. We went and drove past a bunch of things. We didn't really stop. It was very, very busy. There was a lot of people, and it looked like there were a lot of athletes there in training. So, I mean, it was just very, very busy. Didn't stop, wanted to go into the ice skating rink, but it wasn't that big of a deal. So we went by where the ski jumps are. They've got a horse stable. I don't know if it's a horse area where they train horses or whatever, but it's in the field where they had the opening and closing ceremonies and where they lit the torch, because the big apparatus structure where they lit the torch is still there in the middle, which I thought was kind of neat. But everything else is pretty much gone for this horse stable thing. But it was really neat to see, that tiny little town. The ice skating rink, I think, hosted the 80 Olympics for the Miracle on Ice, and I think they did 32 Olympics, and Sonia Henne was the premier performer at that time with the ice skating. So that was kind of neat to see. We did try to go near the bobsledding facility, but for some odd reason we couldn't see it. We just found a bunch of different parking lots and areas where it looks like the athletes stay, but didn't see the actual facility, so it must have been restricted to get to that area. So the trip's been pretty good. From Lake Placid we came down to Ticonderoga, and that's where we hit the rain. We had our gear on. I will say that the Climb Gore-Tex gear was outstanding. It kept me warm, it kept me dry, and that was the biggest thing. So I was very pleased by that. And I'm wearing some Alpine Stars waterproof boots. They performed well. The only thing that I have a problem with on the rain pants is that they're too long. So I was trying to find what bicycle riders use to wrap around their pant legs to keep the pant legs from going into the pedals, but couldn't find anything. We went to a Walmart this morning that was there in Ticonderoga and just found some strip Velcro that I can cut, and it will work fine. So I expect at some point today that we're going to be needing the rain gear. We just don't need it at this point. Okay, so this intersection does look like cross traffic does not stop, but we are going to go left. We'll just have to wait for this to get done. So we are in Vermont. We're going to be on Vermont 22A heading north. Some demolition derby cars. Must be heading to a demolition derby. All right. This is pretty picturesque. We're heading due north right now, and I'm just looking around at the skies that I can see, and I mean, you can tell there's rain in the air, but I think we've skirted most of the thunderstorms. They've been occurring when we aren't riding, which is good. There were some pretty nasty storms that rolled through, and I think they really hit overnight. I mean, the bike is trashed. That's what's going to happen when it gets all wet. But luckily, we've not had to ride in a lot of rain, so it's been all good. Rain's not so bad. It was pretty windy yesterday, so we were fighting the wind quite a bit. Still using the Scenic app to take us where we need to go, and it's been amazing. It hiccuped once yesterday. It got to the end of a route that I had programmed, and then it just kind of quit working, which was kind of bizarre. Had to reboot the phone to get it to work again, and it's been working fine ever since. So this is part 2 of what I programmed. So at the end of it, which is Mount Washington, and that will be tomorrow, I'll find out what it does. So this morning, it is 12:40 p.m. This morning we went to the Star Trek Original Series set tour that's in Ticonderoga, and I took a boatload of pictures. That was really amazing. The one thing that they said you cannot do is take any video. The CBS Paramount says no, you can't do that, with the new agreement that they have on everything. But they had filmed some fan episodes at that facility under the Star Trek Phase 2 and Star Trek New Voyages names on YouTube. So look them up and you'll see. It's actually pretty cool what they did there. There's another set built like that in Georgia where they did the Star Trek Continues YouTube fan episodes, and those are good too. So it was really neat to walk through the corridor of the Enterprise and see all the different things, Kirk's quarters, sick bay, engineering, and we got to go to the bridge last, so that was really neat. They did a magnificent job recreating the sets. Really outstanding job. Tour guides were very knowledgeable and got to interact with them quite a bit, so it was nice, very nice. Was with a large family that all wore Star Trek uniforms. I didn't feel so bad wearing my Enterprise shirt. Just says USS Enterprise NCC 1701 on it. They geeked out way more than I did, but I really did enjoy it. So by the time this video makes it to YouTube, I bought a shirt, Clay got a shirt, but Clay also got a purple Tribble that purrs and squeals like a Klingon is around. It's absolutely cute. But the purple Tribble is for Melissa. She's going to squeal when she hears it and sees it, so that's going to be pretty cool. And as usual, because we're on a motorcycle, we are unable to purchase a lot of things, at least until Melissa joins us in Gettysburg. So what we purchase will have to be small. A shirt is not so bad. Doesn't take up a lot of room. So we stayed at a Motel 6 last night in Ticonderoga. It was the only hotel we could really get that wasn't super outrageous in price. It was all right. I mean, they didn't have enough plugs in the room for people who have a lot of electronics. They had a nice breakfast in the morning. I mean, just bagels and cereal and yogurt. It wasn't bad. We were wondering what we were going to do, but like with anything in smaller towns, Monday night we were trying to find some place to eat, and there were a lot of places that just were not open. And that's true back home too. You know, places are just not open on Mondays, and sometimes even Tuesdays as well. So we fended for ourselves and went to and found a pizza joint that was open, and I swear the whole town must have been there because it was the only game going on. So if people wanted to eat, they got to go to the pizza joint. So that was nice. Okay, we got through that. This is really pretty country, though. It is very nice. I like that the Scenic app tells me the elevation that we're at. Yesterday we were upwards of like 2,000 feet in some spots early on, and then we kept reducing down and reducing down. By the time we got to Ticonderoga, it was like 260 feet above sea level. Right now we're at 288. And I know we're going into mountainous areas, so it's got to be going up at some point. So New York and Vermont, I see, do the old 30-mile-an-hour thing on village and streets, village and city roads. Gosh. I'll at least open up the shield, so I'm not going 43. Good Lord. I got video proof that I wasn't going 43. Down on my GPS, down at the bottom, it's showing the speed limit, and the speedometer is off to the left. So Scenic does tell me when I'm going over the speed limit. By flashing the speed limit up, it's circled with red, and it puts the speed to the left of it in red also. Once I get down below 30, it will turn green, and the red circle 30 will disappear. But I am going downhill, so I don't expect that I'm going to get below the speed limit anytime rapidly unless I lay on the brakes. I don't know what burg we're in, but we're going to find out. I call all these little villages and cities burgs, for lack of a better term. That's a nice old building. Looks like they're going to restore that. So I can already see that some of the housing here is very reminiscent of older areas of Kingsville and Kellogg'sville. You just see the architecture. So that's pretty cool. So this is, they call back home where we're at the, what is it, Connecticut Western Reserve, or Western Reserve of Connecticut. So a lot of the early structures in Ashtabula County do look like they came straight out of Connecticut, Vermont, and all New Hampshire, all that stuff. And you can see it on some of the structures here. Do you see the architecture of the buildings? I can see, like, at the roof level, they've got those little overhangs with the pedestals underneath them, whatever you want to call them. It looks it's very reminiscent of Kingsville and Kellogg'sville when you find the older homes. Yeah. My goodness, this is insane. We're going to turn right in about a quarter mile. Well, that's why we're going slow. Somebody's trying to find the first parking space they could find. I don't think that delivery truck up in front of us is helping much. And the truck behind us, once we start going downhill, is probably going to climb right up our ass. I'm not sure where we're at, but it looks like it's Vergennes. Must be French. I'm seeing on the pole signs that are hanging. I vaguely remember seeing this on a map. Boy, the old architecture. Yeah, the old architecture. Wow. They definitely kept this part of town original. So I think we're going to turn right at the traffic light. It's like that beige house right there, just gorgeous. Big old white house there. Okay, so I've been recording about 24 minutes. I think I'm going to cut it off here momentarily. Okay, so I'm going to cut the video off for now, but I'll bring it back on when we get to that road that I'm excited to be going on. It's a motorcycle road that was suggested in Great Motorcycle Roads of the U.S. I looked them up in the various states to see what would be really, really fun to ride. So when we get to that road, I will turn the video back on. So for now, I'll see you in just a few seconds.